Hello everybody, we are here to talk about slope. If you are in our class, you will hear about my driveway a lot because my driveway has a crazy slope. But slope is the rate of change of a line. Now, slope describes the direction and the steepness. All right, I'll fix my letters here a little bit. Slope describes the direction, which way it's going, and the steepness, how much of an angle it is at, of a line. So the best way I think to talk about this is to go through some examples. So here are the three types of slope that we cover in the 8th grade. There is a fourth, you'll hit that in Algebra 1. Positive slope, a line with a positive slope increases from left to right. So it is super important to know that this is your left and this is your right. If it's hard to remember, because sometimes it is, just think alphabetical order. L comes before R, and we read left to right when we're reading English. So a line with a positive slope increases from left to right. Now I'm going to use my line tool because y'all have seen, if you've seen in the other videos, that I am just not real good at drawing lines or anything else for that matter. If you'll remember curly brackets, that was a real problem for me. But that is a positive line or slope, a line with a positive slope, okay? A negative slope decreases from left to right. So again, I'm going to grab my line tool, and this time I'm going to draw a negative slope. So as you'll see, it starts here and it decreases as the line continues. Finally, we have a zero slope, and that is known, or a zero slope remains constant. Okay. Positive slope increases, negative slope decreases, and a zero slope is constant. So once more, I'm going to grab that line down here and show you what a zero slope looks like. And that line can be any, oops, I did not do well. Let's fix that. Okay, right there. My goodness, I just can't seem to get that right. I'm going to try it one more time. And otherwise, I guess I should get it there. Yeah, close enough. No, it's not close enough. Third time. There. Oh, that is a zero slope. It remains constant all the way across. All right, so just remember, this is going to be very important. And remember that these are types of slope. It is very different than when you're asked to give a slope or what is the slope. This is a type of slope, okay? So let's go ahead and continue with the next page. It says types of slope. Determine which type of slope is shown by each function. When it asks for a type, your answer is going to be one of three things in the 8th grade. It is going to be positive, it is going to be negative, or it is going to be zero. Okay? Positive goes up, negative goes down, zero stays constant. All right? So let's look at this first one. It says this function has a, what type of slope? It has a positive slope. And how do I know that? Because I read left to right, and I know that my positive slope goes up left to right. It started here and it went upward. All right. The next example, it says this function has a, if you'll notice it's constant, so that is a zero slope. All right. So let's go on to the next page of notes and see what this one looks like. This says what kind of slope is illustrated between, or the line between those 2 points. So the first thing we want to do is plot those points. So I'm going to use my highlighter to do that. The first point is 2, 3, over 2, up 3. So that's my first point. The next point, or the next pair there, is -1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. And if I used my line tool to connect them, you would see very clearly they are negative. But I would suggest when you plot points like that, don't connect them. Just look at it, because otherwise, if you're like me and you're not a great illustrator, it might get really messy and you don't want that. So these 2 points form a negative slope. So now we're going to go on to the next page. This says what kind of slope is illustrated by the function shown in the table. Okay, well, again, I'm going to get my highlighter so I can plot points. First thing we're going to do is plot these points. So we've got the first pair, or the first points we have, or the first point we have, x and y values, is 0, so I stand still, and -2, I'm going to go down. So it's right there. The next one is a 5, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down, -2, -1, -2. And even without drawing the line there, you can see that is very clearly a constant slope. Whoops, forgot to go back to a pen, but that's all right. So that is a 0 slope. All right. This is something that you really want to commit to memory and look at very often to refresh your memory, because this is going to keep coming up and it's going to get more and more important. Thanks so much. Have a great day.